Honey, a true delicacy of nature, comes from bees after they pollinate flowers. That pet name every 40-year-old man calls his wife. And this sugary delicacy gets placed today on greasy food, fried chicken. Roll the intro. What is up, guys, and welcome back to my official YouTube channel. That's right, this is an official YouTube channel where I've officially began wearing clothing based on what we will be reviewing. That's right, I had to pull out the flower jacket because today we will be reviewing Mike's Hot Honey Crispy Chicken Sandwich from KFC. What this menu item consists of is KFC's original crispy chicken sandwich with pickles on it, as well as Mike's Hot Honey sauce on it. Now, I've talked about it on this channel before, but the crispy chicken sandwich was originally made popular by Popeyes. Do not forget that Popeyes has the best one too, in my opinion. I love Popeyes. KFC, I usually have issues with. However, my last KFC review, the Nashville Hot Loaded Fries Bowl, I was a huge fan of that. So I'm going into this with the expectations that I will like this Mike's Hot Honey Crispy Chicken Sandwich. I love honey flavored stuff. I also like sweet flavored chicken as well as spicy flavored chicken. But I like when my chicken has a nice sweet touch to it a lot. I think it just coincides really well, especially with the fried aspects of fried chicken. Chicken and waffles, for example, I'm a pretty big fan of. Anyways, that's gonna do it, so why don't you just go ahead and join me on the road for our 5th date, and we are going to be getting the KFC Mike's Hot Honey Chicken Sandwich. Let's go! Alright guys, thanks for joining me. We're here at KFC, as you can tell by the colors behind me and that K right there. I promise there's an FC next to it. Once again, you guys did not join me for the drive, as the same reason mentioned in the previous video. My car sounds terrifying. Anyways, we got our food, so no reason to be too upset. We're gonna go ahead and do a super cool quick food animation coming right up. Alright guys, I know I said that I'm wearing clothes based on what food I'm reviewing, but we have to take this flour coat off because this is new and it's very soft and I don't want to get it dirty so that I have to wash it and ruin this fluffiness. Along with my chicken sandwich, I also got a Pepsi as well as some of KFC's original breading fries. Still delicious as always. I expected no less. I'm also going to do a 1-minute food review on the cherry pie poppers. You can find a link to that up here, but don't go. Stay and watch this video first. First impressions is this looks like it's going to be messy. You can see all this honey sauce right here. I'm scared to touch this with my bare hands. I'm a little bit intimidated by it, to tell you the truth. Messy foods scare me. One thing I notice about the chicken that they use is it's very lopsided, but that shouldn't have much to do with the overall taste of it, so I'll try not to be too harsh. I want to try and eat this in the cleanest way possible, but I don't think that is an option. We're going to be using this wrap that they gave me that's soaked in honey to carry it, and my fingers are sticky as we speak. Anyways, let's go ahead and get into this first bite. I'm gonna get this big old chunk of chicken right here. First bite thoughts. The honey and the bun go really well together. The honey is really complementing the sweetness that already is in the buns KFC uses for their crispy chicken sandwiches. And also, it really goes well with the extra crispy batter of the original chicken sandwich. This bottom bun is already breaking up, which is one of my biggest food pet peeves. I think sauce works wonderfully on the bottom bun when it's homemade and you toast your own bun for something. When you're getting it from a fast food place and they kind of give you a soggy bun already, it's gonna break up and make it a little bit of a pain to eat. Like, you can see just like how much it's separating and, you know, not remaining stationary right there. You can tell just how much this hot honey sauce has seeped into the bread. In turn, it has made the bread quite soggy, which not the biggest fan of. KFC's pickles are quite good. I really like them with the Nashville hot bowl, but I think that there's something about the honey combination with the pickles that is almost eliminating how good the pickles can truly be. Crispy chicken sandwich with mayo and pickles? Yes. Once you add that honey into there, it kind of overrules the dill of the pickle, and then you start getting that like bread and butter pickle-esque style, which on sandwiches, I'm not a big fan of sweet pickles, I think. Also, this just kind of looks a little bit messy, like there is a lot of meat right there. When you get the meat all jumbled up like this, you start to run into knots in the meat, which can be a strange texture. Like, that last bite was very naughty too. So sorry, guys. The meat is still juicy as ever, don't get me wrong. You can't really tell how much of this honey sauce they put on here just by looking at it, but like, you can see this bun is like glistening right here. Can you see that? Right here especially, this all is like a glaze of that Mike's Hot Honey Sauce. Now, I specifically decided to save this bite for last because look at how crispy that chicken is just looking right there. It also has a nice glaze of the hot honey sauce, and the bun is falling apart relatively, but you know, we got this pickle right here to add to it. Final bite. Let's go ahead and get into it. Overall, that's not half bad. Very sticky hands. I feel like they could stick together if I wanted them to, but not a bad meal at all. Very crispy chicken, very sweet. We'll talk a bit more of all that stuff when we get back home. I'll see you there. All right, guys. Finger licking good? More like finger licking above average. All right, guys, I'm sorry. I'm done. All right, one more. Was that a Tyler, the Creator song or an FKA Twigs song? Because, oh my gosh, that was sticky. I'm so sorry. Okay, now that I got that out of my system, let's get right into it. Overall, this was not bad in terms of taste, but there were a lot of weird things going on with it, so let's start listing that off. So I think the first place we should start out is the Mike's Hot Honey Sauce, as that is the reason this is a limited time offer, is because of the collaboration with Mike's Hot Honey. It is really sweet. It has no hotness to it at all. It has no spice. It is just really sweet. I was expecting a sweet and hot kind of ordeal, but I did not get that. When I say sweet, I'm talking about like buy you 12 billion roses on Valentine's Day type sweet. Aww. That's how sweet this was. This Mike's Hot Honey Sauce also directly affected the bread as it seeped into it and made it this really soggy mess, which, I mean, with any condiment, you can kind of expect that to happen with bread, but like, specifically this honey, it almost like glazed and caramelized it in a way. And just overall, the bread is already so nice and airy as it is on these KFC sandwiches. I think a way they can make this sandwich better is to use a little bit less of the Mike's Hot Honey Sauce, but then that also leads me to my next complaint, is just the flavor overall, other than being sweet, really wasn't carrying much weight to it. You know, it wasn't packing much of a punch in terms of where the flavor was at. The flavor ultimately was within the chicken itself. I know that I've talked down a lot on KFC and I've always called Popeyes better, but like, I will say KFC's crispy chicken sandwich, it has nice juicy chicken. It is very crispy. It's very wonderful. But my biggest problem with the chicken that KFC uses is it's very knotty. Good chicken, but could be better. My next complaint is surprisingly the pickles. I know in my last KFC review, I talked good about the pickles, but the pickles in this sandwich ultimately ended up being a lot like the bread, being very soggy. It lost a lot of that nice snap and crunch that it gave to the texture in the Nashville hot bowl, and it was just a little bit upsetting to see. I feel like the pickles and the honey sauce overall just didn't work that well together. There was no bonds there. Like, they both bonded with the chicken, but then they couldn't create a bond for themselves. The pickles in the chicken, wonderful together. The honey sauce in the chicken, pretty good together. But then the honey sauce mixing with the pickles and just ultimately like just getting kind of soggy, it didn't correlate very well. Overall, everything in the sandwich was not bad, but just didn't mix the greatest, and I feel like it's entirely due to the honey sauce that they used. A part of me thinks my main problem here is the honey sauce because it almost ruined everything it touched in a way. And for these reasons, I think I'm going to give the KFC Mike's Hot Honey Crispy Chicken Sandwich a 6 out of 10. Kind of sad to see KFC get a score this low considering I raved about the KFC Nashville Hot Loaded Fries Bowl. A little bit heartbreaking to see that this limited time offer fell as short as it did. Alright guys, that's going to do it for this video. Thank you for joining me. If you would like to watch my last KFC video, that will be linked in the description. And if you would like to watch my last food review, that will also be linked in the description. If you really enjoy the music you've been listening to, you can find a link to my music in the description as well. And go check that out where I'm singing my little heart out. I'm Lil Drummer Boy, even though I don't play any of the drums in my music. They're all artificial. I would like to clarify that. And if you made it this far, thank you so much for joining me. Still am having a lot of fun doing these. I mean, I haven't stopped doing them, so something's keeping me here, and honestly, it's because it's just fun to do this. So yeah, that's gonna be the end. Bye!